What movie plot hole still bothers you to this day? In Signs, the aliens are shown to be allergic to water and that it burns them badly. Doesn't seem to stop them running round a central U.S., dew-covered cornfield in the middle of the night for the first half of the film though. How the fuck did Palpatine get the crew for the 1,000-star destroyers? Did he have the Sith Eternal fuck themselves enough times to have an extra 6 million people to pilot them? How did he even get the raw material for that shit anyway? The Purge always annoys me because you can literally just leave the country or do fraud to get richer, but instead people just turn into serial killers. Ra's al Ghul standing next to a microwave emitter, explaining it turns the water in pipes 100 feet away into steam, but apparently isn't strong enough to turn the water in his body into steam when he's standing 10 inches away. In Ant-Man, they claim that mass stays the same, and only the distance between atoms changes, yet he is quite obviously much lighter when smaller. And he wouldn't be able to throw punches when that small, he wouldn't have enough leverage to do so, his muscles would be too small, and even if he could exert enough force to throw them back like with a normal punch, his tiny little hands would just punch through their flesh like stabbing someone with a pencil. Basically everything in a quiet place. Why not live by the waterfall? Why not use strategically placed sound makers so the alien bugs have to run far away? Why leave a nail in the stairs board? Why not toss a rock to make a sound instead of screaming to save your kids? Also, how did no one think of high-frequency sound? Also, you were telling the military and all the world's governments couldn't figure it out. Still a great movie though. Just watched the Bigfoot cartoon movie on Netflix. The kid says he inherited the ability to run very fast and talk to animals due to being Bigfoot's son. However, Bigfoot was originally a human scientist that was changed into Bigfoot after a science experiment went wrong. His kid was already born when this happened, so no way did he inherit powers. Bothered me more than it should for a kids movie. Not a movie, but I was irked by The Walking Dead. They literally solved their problems by smearing themselves in zombie blood in season 3, I believe. Boom. Series over. Glaring plot hole to move any further. Edit. It was season 1 not 3. Marty's family at the end of Back to the Future. There's no way they would be living in the exact same house if his father turned into a totally different, more successful person. And would you hire the guy who tried to rape your wife in HS and that you punched out to wax your cars? Honestly, how did YZMA and Kronk get back to the palace first? Why didn't Doctor Strange just use one of his dimensional portals to chop on Thanos' hand or head in Infinity War? Yes, I know the director said something about Thanos being too tough, but I think it's just an excuse. Danny kinda forgot about the Iron Fleet. Jesus H. Christ, there's an endless list on that last season, but that one stuck with me. Limitless. You're telling me that essentially the smartest person in the world, that took a $50,000 loan from some mafia, and then turned that into millions, in like a few days through some crazy investing scheme, was unable to have the foresight to pay back the loan shark on time. It was explained in the movie, he was just too focused on making money, and he forgot. Yeah, okay. The dude remembering a random book he glanced at 20 years ago, simply forgot to pay a loan he took out a few weeks ago. At the end of Saw, Cary Elwes' character tries desperately to grab the ringing mobile phone which is only centimeters out of reach. When he realizes he can't, he takes off his shirt to use as a tourniquet to cut off his foot, instead of using his shirt to reach the goddamn phone. Picard could have left the Nexus and gone to any place at any time, and he chose to go with an unarmed elderly man to fistfight a guy on a mountain minutes before a Doom rocket launches. I can think of about 500,000 better strategies. In Polar Express, the kid who almost misses the train never gets gifts from Santa for Christmas, presumably because his parents can't afford presents, meaning either A, Santa isn't real, or B, Santa hates poor people. But at the end of the movie the main kid gets the bell from Santa directly, so canonically Santa said fuck that kid in particular, I guess. This has haunted me for decades. Why didn't Jafar just hypnotize Aladdin and Jasmine like he did the Sultan? Somehow Palpatine has returned. Why didn't the Seahawks run the ball? Cinderella has always bothered me. We're supposed to believe the prince falls in love and remembers nothing about this woman. No one remembers her face. Hair color, nothing. I don't know if it's a plot hole, but the scene in Gravity where George Clooney has to sacrifice himself and cut the tether doesn't make any physical sense. Harry Potter gets a Christmas present from his godfather and forgets to open it for months. Darwin dying in X-Men, First Class. Not really strictly a plot hole, but in The Dark Knight, when Batman jumps out the window to save the girl. Falls for a few seconds and then they cut to the next scene. Dude, the Joker is still up there. How do you not just grapple back up there and get him? You fell for like 5 seconds. He's still waiting for the elevator. Huge sore spot for me in an otherwise amazing movie. Matrix keeping humans alive is a source of energy. Do they take us for thermodynamics idiots? Reddit's grasp of what is actually a plot hole seems to be getting worse every time this question gets reposted. At the beginning of the third Harry Potter movie it shows him practicing Lumos. Is he or is he not doing magic outside of school, which is expressly banned? And mentioned time and time again. I never got around to reading the books. Monsters Inc. You mean to tell me in the 5-10 minutes that every closet door in the factory world is energized by Boo's laugh that no humans go into their closets to discover the monster world or step in without thinking and fall to their death? The entirety of Doctor Who. He's like, oh, I time traveled to the wrong year. Guess I'm just 10 years late now, that's too bad. Like, just time travel again, dude, WTF. How come the Hulk's pants always still fit down to his thighs, if he's getting big or small? In Waterworld, paper is the most precious commodity in existence, yet there is inexplicably copious cigarette smoking. How the hell did that cantina owner get her hands on Anakin's lightsaber? Star Wars: The Last Jedi. The whole spaceship chase idea when they exist in a universe where light speed is possible. The new Empire could easily have outflanked the Rebels by hyper driving right in front of them because the Rebels were out of fuel somehow. Also, the Rebels are in this slow-motion race for their lives, but some dude has time to sneak off the ship and travel millions of miles to some casino planet for some reason that escaped me. Also, what the fuck happened, Rebel Alliance? You defeated the Empire and built a new republic, but somehow mismanaged it so badly that you now have like only 3 ships. They must have been worse than the Empire at governing. In the final Star Wars movie, how did the Sith faithful cultists find the place if they weren't born there? If they were both there, did they have little Sith creches and schools and such? Did the kids have video games? Who babysat them while mommy and daddy were busy with their Sith worshipping? Did the kids get the chance to experience life outside of Sithdom? The way economy works in Harry Potter doesn't bother me that much, but if I try not to think about it. But come on, how the Weasleys are poor. Every wizard would be a billionaire, they can literally create valuable goods from air. Oh, but Muggles' money has no value in the wizard world. Agreed, but you know what has? Gold. And you can use Muggles' money to buy gold. Oh, but there are the laws of transfiguration. Do you know what things are more valuable than many precious metals and gems that those laws don't include? Snake, scorpion venom, printer ink, saffron, a whole range of medicines. Why didn't Flynn Rider cut Rapunzel's hair after she healed him? Then they both could have faced Gothel together. She may have even been able to keep her hair. Avengers Endgame. Highest grossing movie ever. Ant-Man, the battery is dead. I'll have to hit wire it. If there isn't any power, there isn't a fucking hot wire. In Avengers Endgame, Scott relentlessly tells everyone that they only have enough Pym particles for 1 round trip each. Yet he's able to shrink once they get to 2012, and after Thanos destroys the compound, and again when he and Hope go to the van. Jurassic Park. The scene where the T-Rex walks out of the paddock and later the paddock turns into a drop. Still love the movie, but that is one of the most annoying parts of the film. Star Trek: Into Darkness. Peter Weller is chasing after the Enterprise. Traveling at something like warp 7, and fires lasers, a beam of light, straight ahead. Edit. I will concede the comments in this thread regarding a warp bubble etc. And I accept that this is not a plot hole. Thank you all for broadening my understanding of the Star Trek universe. It's always kind of bothered me that Mr. Blonde, a very loyal soldier to Joe and nice guy Eddie, who actually did significant jail time for them and didn't rat, just completely loses his shit during the diamond heist and the aftermath. In The Nightmare Before Christmas, in the song, What's This? Jack says, there's white things in the air, meaning he doesn't know what snow is, but then like 5 lines later, he says, there's children throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads, meaning he does know what snow is. In Ocean's 8, when Sarah Paulson pulls out the necklace from the water, it is assumed that it might have dropped when Anne Hathaway was running towards the bathroom. They literally showed that the necklace cannot be opened without that magnet thingy, and not even her bodyguards questioned that. Who were dumb as fuck though. The makers of the movie Double Jeopardy don't understand how Double Jeopardy actually works. I don't know if it's considered a plot hole though. The writers are just idiots. Jurassic Park. First time we see the T-Rex. Rain lashing down, everyone inside the cars, the glasses of water start to ripple. The glasses of water. Who the fuck is drinking water from a glass while they're driving? From a glass. There are no taps in cars, they must have had bottled water, a perfectly feasible beverage for in-car drinking, and poured from the bottle into glasses. Why? Just to increase the risk of spillage. Bottle of Sprite? Absolutely. Coffee in a lidded cup from the McKee D's drive-thru? Standard. Can of Coke? Sure. Water? In a fucking glass? Get the fuck out of town. Absolute bullshit. Complete break from reality. Ruined the film. Fucking dinosaurs, fucking assholes more like. Back to the Future 2. When Biff steals the DeLorean, he shouldn't have come back to the 2015 Marty and Doc were in. It should have been the alternate reality 2015 he created by giving his 1950s self the almanac. That should have stranded Doc, Marty and Jennifer in the 2015 they were in. Not sure if it counts as a plot hole, but what exactly determines what products are sentient in Sausage Party? We see in the beginning the jar of mustard commit suicide by jumping off the cart and shattering. But then with products like the buns and the sausages, each one is individually sentient and the bag just holds them in. Then we see a bag of chips, where the bag is sentient and the chips inside represent its insides. What about a bag of grapes? Is each one its own person? Or is the bag the person? What about products that are packaged differently? Is an ear of corn sentient or are the individual kernels alive? And if it is each one is its own person, then is creamed corn just mashed up body parts? Or is the can itself sentient? In Home Alone, the whole point is that the phone lines are down so the parents can't contact Kevin while they're in France. How the fuck does Kevin order the pizza if the phone lines are down and he didn't go to the shop? How does Hank Pym carry a tank on his keychain if the mass of a shrunken object stays the same? In The Force Awakens, the Millennium Falcon can make the jump to hyperspace from inside another ship. In a later movie, they use a hyperspace jump to ram ships together.